Plymouth at just 3 degrees Celsius this morning, colder than Aberdeen, sitting at 6 degrees. That is not a typo. The southwest is genuinely experiencing temperatures you'd expect to see in the Scottish Highlands, while Scotland itself is basking in relative warmth. Is your area about to face the most significant temperature swing we've seen this winter? Right now, the Met Office has amber warnings covering 7 counties across the southeast and East Anglia, affecting over 12 million people, with yellow warnings extending across another 15 counties. In the next 12 minutes, I'll tell you exactly when these conditions arrive in your specific location, which areas face the most concerning overnight scenarios, and why tomorrow's forecast could look completely different from what I'm about to share. Drop your location in the comments right now, because tomorrow I'll be going through viewer requests and giving personalized forecasts for your specific town or city. Let me deliver on that promise immediately. London, you are looking at 9 degrees today, dropping to 4 overnight, with Saturday bringing a complete change I'll explain in a moment. Manchester, currently 7 degrees, holding steady through Friday before that same system affects you Saturday afternoon. Birmingham, 8 degrees now, 6 tonight, and your weekend depends entirely on which model proves correct. Glasgow, as I mentioned, URI unusually mild at 6 degrees, but don to get comfortable because Sunday changes everything for Scotland. Cardiff, 7 degrees today, 5 overnight, with persistent drizzle becoming heavier rain Friday evening around 6 o'clock. Belfast, 5 degrees currently, and you are actually in the sweet spot between 2 competing systems, which means your forecast has the highest uncertainty of anywhere I am covering today. Right then, let's talk about what's actually happening meteorologically, because the synoptic setup is rather unusual for late January. We've got a blocking high-pressure system sitting stubbornly over Scandinavia, and I mean stubbornly. It's been there for 11 days now, forcing our Atlantic systems to take a much more southerly track than typical. This is why Plymouth is colder than Aberdeen. The southwest is sitting in cold northerly flow, while Scotland is actually getting what meteorologists call a Foehn effect as air descends the mountains, warming as it compresses. Now, here's where it gets interesting, and this is the detail I want you to remember for later. The Met Office Unified Model is showing this blocking pattern breaking down Sunday night into Monday, whilst the European Centre for Medium Range Weather Forecasts model, the ECMWF, suggests the block persists through until Wednesday at least. This 50-mile difference in the position of our low-pressure system changes absolutely everything for Kent, Sussex, Surrey, and Hampshire. I'll come back to this at the 8-minute mark because there's a compounding factor that nobody is talking about yet. For those of you along the East Coast, from Dover through Great Yarmouth and Scarborough up to Newcastle, you are experiencing that penetrating dampness that makes 5 degrees feel like -2. Winds gusting to 65 kilometers per hour bring wind chill down significantly. Actual temperature 7 degrees, feels like closer to 1 degree. Leeds and Sheffield, both at 6 degrees currently, but Sheffield, your elevation means you are more vulnerable to what is potentially coming Saturday night. The models are still showing uncertainty. We'll have a clearer picture tomorrow morning. Do check back tomorrow because that clarity could mean the difference between rain and something more disruptive. The Midlands, Nottingham, Leicester, Coventry, all between 7 and 8 degrees. The story for all of you is Friday evening into Saturday morning. A warm front brings persistent rain, but the timing concerns me most. If this arrives 3 hours early, Birmingham and Coventry face rush hour disruption Friday evening. On schedule means overnight rain clearing Saturday morning. Oxford and Cambridge currently 9 and 8 degrees respectively, both dropping to 3 overnight with clear spells. Rain arrives Saturday afternoon for Oxford, evening for Cambridge. Bristol and Bath, 7 degrees with extensive cloud. Friday is particularly grey with anticyclonic gloom trapping moisture in the lower atmosphere. Visibility down to 2 kilometres. Saturday improves as the warm front brings clearer air, though with rain first. Southampton and Portsmouth, 8 degrees with brisk southwesterly winds. Your concern isn't a temperature this weekend, it's rainfall totals Friday night into Saturday. 40 to 60 millimetres possible, which on saturated ground could cause surface water issues. The southwest Exeter at 4 degrees, Penzance 7 degrees with maritime influence, Torquay 5 degrees. Here's what is crucial for Sunday into Monday. If that blocking high breaks down, as the Met Office suggests, you get mild, wet, windy Atlantic conditions. If the European model is correct and the block persists, you stay in cold northerly flow with potential wintry showers even at low levels. By wintry showers, I mean sleet or wet snow at low levels, likely sleet, possibly wet snow on grass, but unlikely to settle on roads. Dartmoor above 300 metres could see accumulations. Scotland, Edinburgh and Glasgow, both at 6 degrees. Inverness 4 degrees, Aberdeen 6 degrees. Sunday night into Monday brings significant change as colder air pushes south. The Highlands, Fort William at 3 degrees, Oban 5 degrees, Hebrides and Northern Isles sitting between 6 and 8 degrees in mild Atlantic air. The jet stream runs just north of Shetland, and that positioning matters enormously. Northern Ireland, Belfast, 5 degrees, but you are in the sweet spot between two competing systems, meaning highest forecast uncertainty. Derry, 4 degrees, more exposed to northerly flow. Friday brings outbreaks of rain, 5 to 10 millimetres of persistent drizzle. Wales deserves attention. Cardiff, 7 degrees, Swansea, 6 degrees, Bangor, 5 degrees, with brisk winds making it feel closer to 1. Aberystwyth with 6 degrees. Friday evening brings rain from the southwest, heaviest across Pembrokeshire and Carmarthenshire with 30 to 50 millimetres overnight. Snowdonia sees rain at lower levels, potentially wet snow above 600 metres Saturday morning. But here is what I mentioned earlier that I wanted to come back to. The compounding factor. We've had 3 weeks of above average rainfall across southern England and Wales. The ground is saturated. River levels are elevated. The Environment Agency has flood warnings in force across Hampshire, Dorset, Wiltshire and Gloucestershire. Now, we are potentially adding another 40 to 70 millimetres Friday night into Saturday. This isn't just about the immediate rainfall, it's about the cumulative effect on already stressed river systems and drainage infrastructure. Liverpool and Merseyside, 7 degrees with occasional cloud breaks. Friday, fairly quiet. Saturday afternoon, cloud thickens. Rain arriving evening, 10 to 20 millimetres overnight. The Pennines matter because elevation changes everything. Current freezing level 800 metres, dropping to 600 Friday night, possibly 500 Saturday morning. Anywhere above sees snow rather than rain. Peak District, Yorkshire Dales, Lake District summits, all looking at snow accumulations Saturday. 10 to 20 centimetres possible at summit level. Now, I mentioned I talk about model tensions, and this is important for understanding why forecasts change. The Met Office model is what S called deterministic. It gives you one specific outcome based on current data. The ECMWF ensemble, meanwhile, runs multiple simulations with slight variations in starting conditions to show the range of possible outcomes. Currently, about 60% of ECMWF ensemble members show the blocking pattern breaking down Sunday into Monday. 40% show it persisting. That is not a confident signal either way. By tomorrow, we should see better agreement, or at least understand which scenario is gaining momentum. For those of you who've commented asking about specific towns, Cheltenham, 7 degrees currently. Gloucester, same story. Worcester, 6 degrees. Hereford, 5 degrees, slightly cooler being further west. Your Friday evening sees rain arriving around 8 o'clock, persistent through the night, clearing late Saturday morning, totals 20 to 40 millimetres. Brighton and the Sussex coast, 8 degrees currently with extensive cloud. Worthing, also 8 degrees. Eastbourne, 7 degrees, and you are actually seeing the odd bright spell this afternoon. Friday remains cloudy but largely dry. Saturday, rain arrives mid-morning, heaviest through the afternoon with 30 to 50 millimetres possible. This is one of the areas where model uncertainty is highest, as I mentioned earlier. If the Met Office model proves correct, you are definitely in the zone for the heaviest rainfall. If the European model is right, you see more like 20 to 30 millimetres, still significant but less concerning. Beyond the weekend, the UKMO ensemble shows increasing probability of cold northerly flow developing through the second week of February. This would bring temperatures well below average and risk of snow even to low levels. But re-talking probability, not certainty, about 45% of ensemble members show this scenario. Worth watching, but nowhere near confident enough for definite plans. Reading and the M4 corridor through Berkshire, 8 degrees currently. Saturday brings rain mid-morning through early evening. Anyone planning travel should factor in wet conditions. Kent coastal areas, Canterbury, Dover, Margate, all 7 to 8 degrees. Friday actually fairly pleasant with sunny spells. Saturday deteriorates, rain late morning, heavy afternoon. Dover faces 80 km/h winds that could affect ferry services. Norfolk coast and Norwich, 7 to 8 degrees with brisk easterly winds easing Friday. Saturday rain arrives afternoon, lighter than further south at 10 to 20 millimetres overnight. Sunday brightens with rain clearing morning. Lincolnshire, similarly less dramatic Friday cloudy. Saturday outbreaks of rain, clearing Sunday. Actually, let me correct something about Glasgow's Sunday forecast. Having looked at latest model runs more carefully, that change might hold off until Monday afternoon for Western Scotland. Eastern Scotland sees it earlier Sunday evening a west to east progression. The Lake District deserves specific attention. Windermere 5 degrees, Keswick 4 degrees, Ambleside 5 degrees. Friday cloudy with odd light shower. Saturday sees rain developing morning, heavy at times. 70 to 90 millimetres over higher fells, flood producing rainfall for already saturated catchments. Environment Agency watching Cumbrian rivers closely. Helvellyn, Skyfell Pike, above 800 metres, you re-looking at snow Saturday, potentially significant accumulations. Wind chill matters this weekend. At 8 degrees with winds gusting 60 kilometres per hour, feels like temperature drops to about 3 degrees. Coastal locations with brisk winds will feel significantly colder than sheltered inland spots at same temperature. Bournemouth and Dorset coast pool, Weymouth 7 to 8 degrees. Friday cloudy with occasional drizzle. Saturday is your wet day, rain arriving morning, heavy afternoon and evening, 40 to 60 millimetres total. The compounding concern, Stour and Frome catchments already elevated. This additional rainfall could push them to warning level. Worth checking Environment Agency updates Friday, Devon beyond coastal towns, Dartmoor particularly, Princetown at 300 metres, currently 1 degree, above 400 metres below freezing. Saturday sees heavy precipitation rain lower down, snow above 400 metres with accumulations possible. Could affect the B3212 across the moor. Cornwall Truro 6 degrees, Newquay 7 degrees with Atlantic exposure keeping you mild, St Ives 7 degrees. Friday cloudy with patchy light rain, Saturday more persistent rain though less heavy than further east, 20 to 30 millimetres through the day. Isles of Scilly, St Mary S at 8 degrees, mildest location today sheltered in Atlantic air. The pressure pattern for meteorology enthusiasts, 1,025 millibars, over Scandinavia, 995 millibars west of Ireland. That 30 millibar gradient drives our winds. As the low deepens Friday night to possibly 980 millibars Saturday afternoon, it becomes quite vigorous. Suffolk coastal towns, similar 8 degrees, cloudy Friday with easterly winds, rain arriving Saturday afternoon. Let me give you the outlook beyond Sunday into next week, with appropriate caveats about uncertainty. Monday looks unsettled across England and Wales, brighter in Scotland but colder. Tuesday, ridging high pressure might bring a quieter interlude. Wednesday onwards, increasing uncertainty, but the pattern might turn more showery from the west. Temperatures generally near or slightly below average, so we re-talking 5 to 9 degrees across most areas. Not exceptional, but noticeably cooler than we've seen recently. Model tensions I mentioned earlier are important for understanding why forecasts change. The Met Office model is deterministic, one specific outcome based on current data. The ECMWF ensemble runs multiple simulations with slight variations in starting conditions to show the range of possibilities. Currently, about 60% of ECMWF ensemble members show the blocking pattern breaking down Sunday into Monday. 40% show it persisting. That's not a confidence signal either way. By tomorrow, we should see better agreement. There's one thing I want you to take away from this forecast, if nothing else. The uncertainty around Saturday's rainfall distribution means the difference between inconvenience and disruption for several million people. Tomorrow morning, S-model runs are absolutely crucial. I cannot stress enough how much clarity we'll gain in 24 hours. Do check back tomorrow because I'll have specific rainfall totals for much narrower areas rather than the broad ranges I've given today. Now, I know I asked at the start, but if you haven't already dropped your location in the comments, please do. Tomorrow I am going through requests and giving personalized forecasts. If you are in a small town or village I haven't mentioned, tell me where you are. I'll cover as many as possible in tomorrow's update. Quick recap then. Cold in the southwest, mild in Scotland, that temperature inversion, unusual, but explained by the synoptic setup with blocking high over Scandinavia. Friday, generally cloudy across most areas, rain arriving southwest Friday evening around 6 o'clock. Saturday sees widespread rain, heaviest across southern England currently, though models still disagreeing on exact placement. Met Office favours southeast. European model shifts it westward. Sunday brings clearance from the west, colder air pushing south. Beyond that, increasing uncertainty, but possibly turning colder through the second week of February with that northerly flow I mentioned. I want to be honest about forecast confidence. The next 24 hours, very high confidence. Friday, high confidence. Saturday morning, reasonable confidence. Saturday afternoon and beyond, confidence dropping as model uncertainty increases. This is normal for UK weather forecasting. Our position between Atlantic systems and continental influence means small changes in pressure patterns create large changes in outcomes. For tomorrow's forecast, I am particularly interested in how the overnight model runs handle that blocking high. Does it break down Sunday night, as the Met Office suggests, or persist through midweek, as the European model indicates? This matters enormously for our second half of next week forecast. I'll have answers tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow's update will be available by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, possibly earlier if the overnight models show something particularly noteworthy. Have a good evening, stay safe in the wet weather Saturday, and I'll see you tomorrow with much more specific